We'll be starting Breathe here in a few minutes at 8. Oh, good morning, Glenn. I can see the comments this morning. We got that all fixed. We did a couple of test sessions. Mark and I did last night, just went live, and he had to change a couple of settings. And anyway, and there were people that were logging on. Good morning, Kelly. Yes, I can see the comments. Kelly had logged on too, and the people were like, "Oh, what's going on?" And we're like, "We're just trying to figure out the comments thing." So, and I got my allergy shots yesterday, and it was the first time in a couple of weeks. I usually get them every week, and it's got me kind of um, my allergies flared up today, so my voice is a little gravelly. And there's a neighborhood kitty cat with a collar right outside the window right here. And so my cat, Scotty, is in the window. Just, you may be able to hear her. I don't know. She's a little wound up this morning, as she usually is most mornings. But she's sitting there kind of chirping and purring in the window. So I'm so glad y'all are here. And as you log on, let me know you're here. And if it's your first time to log on, let me know where you're logging on from. And we'll begin at 8 and just about 4 or 5 minutes. Hope you have a cup of hot coffee or tea in your hands. So I still just see the 2 comments, so I hope that everything's. Oh, and Dave. Good morning, Ann and Dave. I'm so glad y'all are here. I hope y'all are doing well. Yeah, we'll get started here in just about 4 minutes. Yeah, and please forgive my voice. As I was saying, I got my allergy shots yesterday, and it really kind of got things um, flared up and moving just a little bit. So yeah, so I hope we have some more people log on here in a few minutes. I'm gonna try to go, I'm gonna try to go maybe a couple minutes longer because it seems like I've been stopping at about 8:09 instead of 8:10. Um, so yeah. So as we're getting ready to start, just invite you to just take a few deep breaths and get centered. Which is sometimes easier said than done, but the breath certainly helps. Yeah, I see we have some other folks who have joined us this morning. Good morning. Oh, that's wonderful, Lynn. Yeah, it is a beautiful morning. It is indeed. And we'll get started here in just 2 or 3 minutes. So, blessings on all of you this morning. So glad you're here. And yes, I got a haircut yesterday, so I'm all excited. Feels so good to have decent hair again that's not all down in my face. Hope you all are doing well these days. And that you enjoyed the rain that we had Sunday. That was lovely. So yeah, we'll get started here in a couple minutes, right at 8. Yeah, we've Couple more log on with us. Good morning to you all. I'm so glad you're here. We'll start in another minute. Give people a chance to find us. So good morning to everybody. It is a beautiful morning. Hello, Patty. Good morning. I'm so glad you're here. Hope y'all are doing well. And blessings on you this morning. All right, it's 8. So let's go ahead and begin. So as we begin, let's just take a couple of deep breaths together. Remembering that the Spirit is as close as our own breath. So in our worship series, for the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about the rules of the Methodist societies back in the 18th century, when the Methodist movement was developing within the Church of England, and bands or classes, groups of people who were active in the movement would get together every week. And actually, what we're doing now is getting together every week online, are we not? And so they developed 3 rules. And so we've been talking about these in our online worship. And the first of which is to do no harm, and the second of which is to do good. And then we'll be talking about the third one this Sunday, which is in 18th century language is attend upon all the ordinances of God. And in modern usage is often called stay in love with God. But I've been thinking a lot about those first 2 rules. And really it's 4 words. Both rules are encompassed in 4 words. And they're so it's so hard to just will our own selves, to just do no harm and to do good. And how much grace enables us to do those things, to live out of grace enables us to increasingly do no harm and to increasingly do good. And I ran across something a few weeks ago as I was reading from writer Kathleen Norris, and she was referencing the story from the Hebrew scriptures in the book of Exodus, when the Israelites, they were led out from Egypt from slavery by Moses, and they're in the wilderness, and then they start pining to go back to what they know, because the wilderness is really hard. Even though Moses is leading them, God is with them. And so God sends manna, this a food substance that they would find outside every morning, maybe such a lovely morning as this, to walk outside and find your breakfast. And they could gather this every morning. It would come without fail, except for the Sabbath. And the day before the Sabbath, there would be enough for them to gather for 2 days. But they couldn't hoard it, um, because then it would get all maggoty and wormy. And so they had to just trust that every morning there would be sustenance and there would be food to carry them through the day. And what Kathleen Norris, the way she looks at that is that it's a lot like grace. And of course, manna is a grace, a daily grace, that comes to the newly liberated Israelites as they're wandering around in the wilderness. And in fact, in Hebrew, the word manna means, what is it? Because they didn't quite know what it was. And so they're, oh, hello, Tandy. I'm so glad you're here. So good. Blessings on you this morning. But the thing that Kathleen Norris says about grace is that way, is that it comes to us, but then it is to flow out from us. It's not anything that we can hoard. And I've been thinking about that. And then also some of the prayers from our tradition, that say, make me a channel of your peace. Make me a channel of your grace. Is, that we are vessels through which grace flows. And I've been wondering too about grace, is that if we try to hoard it, then does it stop being grace? Right? Does it get blocked up in us and somehow turn wormy and maggoty? Musings on a Wednesday morning, right? And it seems to me that grace is the most effective and is the most active when it flows, when we receive and then let it just pour out of us toward others. And then I think we can find that we can more readily do no harm and do good, which is what we are called to do. And so for everyone that's in this space this morning, this virtual space, and those who view it later on today, may we see ourselves as channels through which grace flows, even though we may not be able to completely explain it or even completely understand it, but that we are channels of grace which continually flow in and flow out. So this morning, the little prayer object that I have with me this morning is a stick of blessing balm. And Pastor Caroline, she has these made up, and it has our church's name on it, First United Methodist Church of Garland, Texas. And then the little blessing balm label. And this particular blessing balm has the scent of eucalyptus. And when I smell this, it takes me back to when we could gather for worship physically, and our children some Sundays would gather at the doors and mark us all with a blessing. And there would be that smell. So I know it's not possible to send this to you virtually, but I'm going to send it to you virtually to remember that you are a blessing always. that you are a child of God, through whom grace flows. So as we come to the end of our time together, let's take 3 deep breaths together. Let's breathe in and out. In and out. And in, remembering that the Spirit is as close as our own breath. And out, breathing grace and God's goodness to all around us. My friends, thank you for being here today. You are a blessing. Don't ever forget that. Until next time, it's been so good to be with you.